Nestle is the largest Swiss company, valued at $320 billion and employs over 276,000 employees and sells in 186 countries. Nestle is larger than you think, and you think Nestle only sells coffee or Milo. No. Nestle owns many other popular brands like KitKat, Maggi, Toll House, Smarties, and Milkybar. Nestle is so big that not a single grocery store in the world exists that doesn't have a Nestle product available. Nestle was founded by Henri Nestle. Want to know his life story and how he creates Nestle? Watch the full video. We at Business Chronicles tell the stories of extraordinary successful people. Please subscribe to our channel to help us in making more videos. Henri Nestle was born on August 10, 1814 in Frankfurt am Main. His father was Johann Ulrich Matthias Nestle and his mother was Anna Maria Katharina Eyemann. His parents had 14 children, but about 7 of his siblings died before reaching adulthood. Henri was the 11th child. His father worked as a glazier in Tungesgasse, cutting and fabricating glass. It was a business he inherited from his father, Henri's grandfather. Henri's family lived among the bourgeoisie of Frankfurt. His parents were Lutheran and he was baptized in the Lutheran faith 11 days after birth. He received a Lutheran education with his parents emphasizing to him and his siblings the importance of hard work and physical endurance. While he was a teenager, Heinrich witnessed 2 fundamental developments of his time: the construction of a municipal water system from 1828 to 1834 that put water in tanks above homes in Frankfurt, and the adoption of gas for residential lighting after 1828. These imprinted in him how innovation could make people's lives better. In 1833, aged 19, Henri completed a 4-year apprenticeship at a pharmacy called Underbruck under the tutelage of J.E. Stein. He demonstrated a sound understanding of chemistry and botany at the Frankfurt-based pharmacy. This education served as the foundation of his future career. After completing his apprenticeship in 1833, Henri spent the next 6 years working in pharmacies. He held about 4 jobs with different pharmacies from 1833 to 1839, some of which were outside Frankfurt. He eventually ended up in Switzerland in his mid-20s. In 1839, Henri was officially authorized to work as a pharmacy assistant in Lausanne-Vaud. He was authorized after completing a mandatory 3-year apprenticeship with a pharmacist and getting a good score in a licensing exam. With this authorization, he could make prescriptions, sell medicines, and perform experiments. It was during this period that he changed his name from Heinrich to Henri so as to blend in with the local society in French-speaking Vevey. Henri Nestle started out in Vevey working as a pharmacy assistant for pharmacist Marc Nicolier. Nicolier played an instrumental role in getting Nestle acclimatized with the local pharmacy practice. He also introduced him to modern experimentation methods in the works of distinguished German scientist Justus von Liebig. Nestle would later take a keen interest in Liebig's work in infant nutrition and expand on his research considerably. In 1843, with some assistance from Nicolier, Nestle identified a progressive, versatile business in Vevey he wanted to acquire. The business was housed in a residential property with an oil mill, press and sawmill, distillery, warehouse, and stables. He called the property En Rouvenaz. Some of the equipment in En Rouvenaz included a bone press, oil press, a still, and a veneering saw. Nestle acquired the property for 19,000 Swiss francs. He raised the money by taking a loan of around 8,700 francs from his aunt Anna Dorothea Nestle Andrei and then taking over the previous owner's mortgage of 12,000 francs. Having secured the property in 1843, Nestle continued its existing operations, including the production of nut and rapeseed oils at the oil mill and liquor and rum at the distillery. Because the property was backed by a vineyard, Nestle used lower quality wines from these to make vinegar for sale. At the bone press, Nestle turned bones into fertilizer. Nestle did not, however, confine himself to the business's existing products. He made a few additions of his own, including lemonade and carbonated mineral water. He provided the fizzy lemonade and flavored soft drinks to local inns. They'd pay a deposit for the bottles and Nestle would refill them periodically. He even reactivated a sawmill on the property and in 1945 began producing white lead mineral paint. Toward the end of the 1840s, however, as a food crisis gripped Europe, Nestle stopped producing mineral water and lemonade. Increased competition from larger industrial-scale competitors also played a role in his abandoning of the two. After losing his core products of carbonated lemonade and mineral water, Nestle chose to focus on gas for lighting and fertilizers. Gas lighting was just catching on in Vevey, and Nestle, remembering how it had become widely adopted in Frankfurt when he was a child, sought to bring the same innovations to Vevey. At the time, the town's streetlights ran on oil lamps, which were costly to maintain as they needed daily filling. In homes, people relied on candles. Nestle started developing a gas people could use for lighting and did not require transportation through pipes. In 1852, he created a liquid gas which he sold in big quantities. In 1858, local authorities floated a tender for the construction of 12 street lamps powered by liquid gas. Nestle bid for the tender and won. By then, he had partnered with businessman Guillaume Keppel, who provided financial expertise to run his liquid gas business. Nestle delivered the 12 new gas-powered street lamps and consistently supplied the liquid gas to power them. Another business partner, Rodolphe Schneeberger, serviced and maintained the lamps. The contract was a success, and Nestle even sold the town more street lamps. It was during this time that he quit producing liquors, paint, and vinegar at his plant, choosing to focus purely on gas and fertilizers. Nestle's success with liquid gas ran its course in 1863 when a brand new gas plant with piped liquid gas distribution went live in Vevey. At the same time, his partner Keppel fell into financial difficulty. Nestle had to find a new core product to sell. For a brief period in the mid-1860s, Nestle went into the construction business, making cement bricks. It wasn't until 1867 that he branched out to making infant cereal. In the late 1860s, infant mortality was a huge problem in Europe. 1 in 3 children in Germany and 1 in 4 in Switzerland died. Poor nutrition was a big cause of the problem, as many mothers, even in the European industrial age, did not breastfeed. Some couldn't because of health issues, and others because they couldn't find the time, being that they worked in factories. Even in the upper classes of societies, breastfeeding was not fancied. Ladies preferred having caregivers to look after their young children. These circumstances, coupled with advancements in food manufacturing and rail transportation, provided a fertile ground for Nestle to go into infant cereal manufacturing. Working from his Henri base, Nestle built on Liebig's earlier research in infant nutrition, modifying the formula to create quality food. Essentially, he combined premium Swiss cow milk with wheat flour and sugar to make early forms of his baby food. He, however, removed the starch and acid from flour so babies could easily digest it. He called his product Farine Lactée. Farine Lactée went on sale in 1867 and thanks to many positive reviews from mothers, was a success. The dried product was backed by science and tasty to babies. It was also easy to prepare as mothers only needed to boil it with water. Nestle later fortified Farine Lactée with iron. He created the iconic Nestle logo featuring a bird feeding its 3 chicks in a nest in 1868. Nestle relied on the equipment at his Henri business to make the first batches of baby food. However, as demand soared, he took out loans to purchase new equipment. In 1869, for example, he expanded his capacity to produce 1,100 pounds of infant cereal a day and 360,000 cartons a year, up from 48,000 cartons before. However, even with the new technology and introducing night shifts for workers, Nestle was still unable to meet demand for his successful product. In 1872, he had to expand further, doubling his capacity to 72,000 cartons a year. In 1873, he was again forced to expand capacity to meet demand. It was in 1874 that Nestle, while considering investing in an in-house can-making operation, realized the truth. The business was simply growing faster than he could control. This is why, in 1875, he sold the company to his business associates for 1 million Swiss francs. After selling his company, Nestle retired to a life of philanthropy. He helped people with small loans and even made public donations toward local infrastructure development. Nestle died on July 7, 1890. Today, the company he founded has evolved into the largest publicly owned food company in the world, with over 85 billion francs in sales in 2021 alone. It sells dozens of products including Nescafé, Nespresso, Smarties, Vittel, and KitKat. The company has 276,000 employees and sells in 186 countries. Henri Nestle was born in a very tragic environment where his 7 elder siblings were dead before his birth. However, he initially chose the pharmaceutical industry, but later when he saw an opportunity in a Swiss town called Vevey, he left his job and took a loan to start his business. At the start, the business wasn't very successful, so he introduced more products like water and lemonade. However, due to the European food crisis, his business suffered losses. He was a fighter instead of closing the business, and he created liquid gas for lighting and fertilizers, which was a big turning event in his life. He had the business acumen and strong sense to find the new opportunity which enabled him to create Nestle, which is the biggest food empire in the world. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this.